and I'm going to do it right now.
With fireworks blazing behind her and millions of people yelling her name, she stands motionless in a gold gown. With robotic precision, Beyoncé, the undisputed queen of perfection, dominated the Super Bowl stage. The picture is ingrained in our collective consciousness. Perfect, calculating, and divine. However, Jason Lee is currently threatening to blow up that glittering show. Because he's whispering a story as everyone else cheers her on at every turn. The Carter family has put up a fierce fight to remain buried. Furthermore, it doesn't start with hit songs or fashion collections. It starts with two kids, two names that are kept as private as state secrets, spoken less and seen even less. Sir, in particular, and the roomie.
I know so much on how you got where you are. How you stepped on many people.
In quiet corners of Reddit threads and stan group conversations, fans have been asking the same topic for years. What makes Sir essentially invisible? Why does Sir's presence seem almost mythical, whereas Rumi is escorted onto stages, into campaigns, and onto record tracks? According to a former Parkwood Entertainment employee, Beyoncé's staff has a comprehensive internal procedure in place to control Sir's visibility. Consider organized paparazzi leaks, planned social media windows, and, the worst part, selective medical privacy agreements subject to stringent NDAs. Jason Lee claims to have seen the documents, so if you think it sounds like paranoia, fasten your seatbelt. Sealed private medical records that claim Sir is autistic, if they are accurate.
She doesn't know.
Beyoncé doesn't know.
Yeah, I don't think Beyoncé, and they're not going to share that with her.
Yvette knows. I got the receipts. I still have the receipts.
Some of the wealthiest families are operating what can only be defined as invisible clinics, according to sources in the Los Angeles wellness community. Secluded, quiet therapy centers run by private concierge services, with stricter security procedures and therapists bound by NDAs than the Grammys green room. And can you guess who has been observed organizing high-clearance visits into and out of a specific area close to Bear? A well-known individual from Beyoncé's personal circle. An assistant was originally assigned to oversee the twins' weekly responsibilities. That line was taken directly from a screenshot of the itinerary that was released. Jason Lee claims to have been collecting these since 2022.
Beyoncé and Jay-Z will do anything to destroy anyone who speaks out against them.
Are we now discussing a devoted mother attempting to protect her son from the public eye? Or are we witnessing a power couple who are willing to remove a portion of their reality because they are so fixated on maintaining control over their image? The difficult question is that, because Jason Lee is getting more aggressive while the Carter camp stays quiet, he is naming, not only implying. He is displaying partial timestamps and envelope edges from what he says are authentic medical records connected to Brentwood private specialists. We're talking about behavioral analysts, pediatric neurologists, and sensory experts who reportedly work together through middlemen connected to Roc Nation's legal department. This is masterclass level fabrication if it is. But if it is, are we now talking about a loving mother trying to keep her son out of the spotlight? Or are we seeing a power couple so obsessed with preserving control over their image that they are prepared to erase some aspects of their reality? That's the tough question. Because the Carter camp remains silent while Jason Lee becomes increasingly aggressive. He is not just hinting, he is naming. He is showing envelope edges and partial timestamps from what he claims are real medical documents related to Brentwood private specialists. We're discussing behavioral analysts, pediatric neurologists, and sensory specialists who allegedly collaborated via intermediaries with ties to Roc Nation's legal division. If it is, this is falsification at the masterclass level. But if it's
weirdo, now you know what you got in your head, that neural link. You'll never outthink me.
Jason Lee is thus getting ready to release what he refers to as the certified receipts, while the general public clinks glasses to a moonshine legacy. His language has changed, but he hasn't yet shared whole scans. More self-assurance and less taunting. As this is going on, Beyoncé's team has started circling wagons by quietly reaching out to friendly media figures, some of whom we know were recently requested to report any coverage that links her to health rumors. A reputable Carter PR fixer delivered the exact phrase in a direct email. "We witnessed ITS the world raises their glasses to a moonshine legacy." Jason Lee prepares to disclose what he calls the certified receipts. He hasn't yet given entire scans, but his language has altered. Less teasing and more confidence. Beyoncé's staff has begun circling wagons in the meanwhile by discreetly contacting amiable media individuals, some of whom we know were recently asked to report any coverage that connects her to health rumors. The precise words were sent in a direct email from a credible Carter PR fixer. "We saw it.
I ain't worried. I ain't going nowhere. I'm telling you right now, I'm not playing this industry game."
The worst part is still to come. One of the leaked documents, according to Jason Lee, is more than simply a diagnosis. It is a behavioral and cognitive summary that was created for insurance purposes and includes a list of the accommodations that have been requested for the student in educational settings. If true, this would indicate that the Carters have been actively attending to his needs behind the scenes for years in addition to knowing about them. Apart from the layers of secrecy and the work required to project a whole new picture, there is nothing wrong with that. And where does a deliberate omission become a lie in a society when superstars use authenticity to establish their brands?
Oh, no, that was it. No, when I get nervous, I tell the truth.
The way that this might alter the public's perception of autism in celebrity culture is what truly raises questions. What message does it send to any family attempting to normalize neurodiversity if the most influential couple in entertainment has supposedly gone to such measures to protect their son's reality? We met with a media consultant who described it as a reckoning and a possible explosive point. Because it will be interpreted as disgrace if these records come to light and the Carters remain silent. Because shame is a brand liability, particularly in 2025. Even Ye felt the pressure point, acting recklessly as usual. Not only was his now deleted tirade against the twins harsh, but it was also well planned. He went for the jugular since he was aware that something delicate was present. He might have targeted Jay-Z's Super Bowl deals, Beyoncé's music, or even Ivy Park's waning popularity. Instead, he discussed the mental capacity of Sir and Room. Why? As he was aware that it was the pressure valve. The one subject that nobody discusses. The deepest, most tightly enclosed chamber in the Carter family.
Think about that. The most Grammys, never won Album of the Year. That doesn't work.
And now that chamber is being forced open, not by a tabloid exposé, but by a series of quietly growing rumors, covert document leaks, and a loud former Hollywood CEO who claims he's only just getting started. The most shocking of his assertions was that the documents show not only autism but also the exact chronology of its discovery, implying that the Carters have been aware of it since the twins were little children and have been adjusting their public personas accordingly ever since. Additionally, we are informed that the texts contain allusions to regulated social settings, flexible communication techniques, and even specialists. What if Beyoncé's team has spent millions of dollars ensuring we never see the diagnosis that one of those ghosts is holding? The Carters don't say the loudest thing in this story. However, how devastating the leaked summaries and whisper campaigns may seem, it originates with everyone in their vicinity. Because there is a larger, darker current at work beneath the surface, even as Jason Lee scatters breadcrumbs and fans make connections. The industry silent pact is a verbal but unwritten agreement between celebrities, executives, influencers, and yes, even friends who have attended the same pre-Grammy breakfasts held by Beyoncé and Jay-Z, attended the same private parties on the same yacht decks, and witnessed things they would never acknowledge.
If we get to the bottom of Tupac's when that is finally revealed, 15 other will be revealed with it. And you will find that they were all committed by the same two people, father and son.
The guest lists have been tracked down. We are aware of who has visited those rooms. From publicists who have reserved front row seats for celebrity family occasions to stylists with DNA-level access. These are not strangers. These are the folks who have seen Rumi grow while Sir is being gently pushed aside. Furthermore, not a single famous person has ventured to discuss the glaring disparity in public. Not in response to a request or pressure. Not even when Ye crossed a line that much of Hollywood believes doesn't exist and pulled the twins into his insane social media persona. And that's correct. Given that Ye doesn't travel at random, this could be the most important indication he makes patterned outbursts. His criticisms, particularly the upsetting posts directed at Rumi and Sir, went beyond simple outbursts. They were cautions. Two former co-workers we spoke with characterize West's outbursts about Carter as deliberate chaos rather than jealousy. The type intended to jar the quiet and intimidate people who know more than they are permitted to discuss. His now famous post casting doubt on the twins' mental faculties was removed within minutes, but not before it sparked an enormous DMS controversy. Not before seasoned professionals in the field subtly acknowledged that he visited because he was certain it was authentic.
Obviously, it's subjective because, it's music and it's opinion-based, but, some things...
Why, therefore, the silence? Pure and basic fear. The Carters are more than just performers. These organizations have political connections, cultural influence, and brand empires that reach from Silicon Valley to the White House. Visitor records. Because of Beyoncé's unwavering power, her partners sign and is thicker than Oscar scripts in addition to contracts. According to one report, a backup dancer received criticism for bringing up the twins' names in a private group chat. Another, a former helper who says they were fired because requesting an explanation for Sir's absence from a family photo session. It's a crystal clear message. All you have to do is speak, however. Beneath the quiet lies a subtle betrayal that is right in front of you. Beyoncé has established herself as an advocate for empowerment, neurodiversity, and inclusivity. Her anthems for the misunderstood have been released. She has advocated for Black excellence and mental toughness on all platforms. However, she has sealed the vault when it comes to her own son's purported reality. No talk, no visibility. Just well-planned sisterhood and flawless execution. If it's simply external, it raises the question of whether it qualifies as advocacy.
And I'm not saying allegedly.
Oh.
I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit. Taking Pimp C wasn't bad enough. You just want to go down there and you want to just remove all of the balls from every real gangster in Houston.
Let's now discuss legacy. The phrase, "I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman," has always been Jay-Z's obsession. A sentence that transitioned from witty lyrics to a goal statement for the family. Time, parenting, and being there for his children are the main topics of his most recent interviews. Here are some behind-the-scenes sounds, though. According to insiders, he missed several of Sir's early formative phases, including touring, obtaining a title, and signing contracts. When the diagnosis, if it is accurate, was announced, there were rumors of animosity. Two former employees of Roc Nation claimed meetings were held behind closed doors to discuss whether to include or exclude Sir's needs from the Carter brand. They decided on the second door. Now that the era of filtered perfection is coming to an end, they are haunted by that choice. Beyoncé's purported rebirth during the Renaissance period is based on transparency and honesty. However, if one of her own truths has been hidden from the public, how genuine can that be? Rumi can be heard in songs. Blue Ivy get lecture engagements and Grammys, Sir. Sir continues to exist as a shadow, a name on a birth certificate, a fuzzy face in a vacation picture, and a youngster who might be holding the most potent tale the Carters have never shared. Fans are also taking notice.
I want you to think about this. Allegedly, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyoncé.
Their most recent change is therefore causing some concern. You can spot the warning signals of a panic attack if you pay close attention to candid family photos that were carefully leaked and promotional materials, Rumi murmured. More screen time, sir. Even the Sir Davis brand feels like a little prod towards prominence without really addressing the problem. We met with a PR strategist who referred to it as emotional laundering. The effort to appear inclusive while keeping the things that are being excluded hidden. A deliberate hypocrisy, to put it briefly. Additionally, fan communities are becoming more and more hypocritical. The argument is already heated. Is this a rubber or overprotection? Is the quiet an act of kindness or an overreaching public relations ploy regarding Sir's condition? Parents of children with neurodiverse traits have begun to criticize it and seek answers from a woman who they formerly viewed as a representation of contemporary motherhood. Since representation is important, it cannot simply be borrowed. Must be experienced. Must be displayed. This leads us to the ultimate, unavoidable truth. All of it, the records, the sightings, the cover-ups, will eventually come to light. Even though you can prohibit words from news conferences, mute pals and seal files, reality still seeps through. And because Jason Lee isn't giving up, because Ye has already broken the seal, and because there are too many individuals involved,